The more you build your sense of self-trust, the more you build your sense of self-respect. And the more you build your sense of self-respect, the more you build your sense of self-esteem. Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Synced Up. I'm your host Sabrina, and I planned a special episode 6. We're getting it going, people. I decided to dedicate episode 6 to 6 ways to build your self-esteem. Woo! We all love building our self-esteem because it's something that so many people struggle with, myself included. I've gone through the fucking ringer with my self-esteem and being at really low places, and that just manifesting in really unhealthy ways. So I want to help guide you guys towards being the best, highest version of yourself with tools to actually help you build your self-esteem. Let's get into it. Number 1 is to get really clear on everything that you bring to the table, everything that you're good at, everything that you love about yourself. I would write it down in your phone or in your journal and just go on a rampage of everything that you are good at and start reading it and start affirming that and accepting it. Accept your greatness. Like, we are all great, and I truly believe that we all have innate skills and gifts, and the more you start to allow yourself to accept that part of yourself, the more it's gonna start coming through. I've noticed this so much, actually, and this is a practice I do on days where I wake up and I just have anxiety, or I'm feeling insecure, or I'm just not feeling my best. I go on a rampage of things that I know that I bring to the table, or things that I want to affirm about myself that maybe I'm not necessarily there yet, but I know it's possible for me, and I know that the highest version of myself portrays and embodies these characteristics. And I just go on like, I am this, I am that, I'm confident, I'm hardworking, I'm driven, I'm passionate, I seek knowledge, I love to learn. That just go on and on and on and hype yourself up. You want to start getting into the practice of recognizing your gifts, your talents, and your skills, and to acknowledge that and be proud of it. Not only does this stop the cycle of negative thought loops, it breaks that cycle, and it's directly replacing it with positivity and loving thoughts and joyful thoughts about yourself, which in turn shifts your energy. And when you shift your energy, you shift your perception of the world, you shift what you're capable of attracting, and your quality of life improves. Build yourself up, because when you shift your perception of how you view yourself, you shift the perception of how the world starts to view you. And when you shift your energy, all the affirmations that you've been telling yourself, like, I'm so confident, I'm hardworking, I'm driven, I'm passionate, and you start to just affirm these, even if you don't believe it in the beginning, just start affirming it and see how people start to treat you differently. And then when you start to receive this positive feedback from your environment, it gives you this different sense of motivation to keep going because it's fucking working. Okay, 2, keeping 1 to 3 promises with yourself daily. This is so game changing, even if the promise is just to make your bed or drink a glass of water before doing anything, because what it's actually doing is you're showing yourself, I can trust myself. When you keep a promise to yourself, the more you build your sense of self-trust, the more you build your sense of self-respect. And the more you build your sense of self-respect, the more you build your sense of self-esteem. It's all intertwined, and it all starts within you. You want to make it attainable because you don't want to set yourself up for failure. So start really small. Start with making your bed, drinking water, expressing gratitude before doing anything. As an example, I have 4 non-negotiables that I've committed to for about 1.5 years or 2 years now. And this has definitely played a huge role in building my sense of self-esteem, and I invite you to apply this to your life as well. Number 1 is for the first 30 to 60 minutes of my day, I do not check my phone. And instead, I journal and I meditate. Because in the first 30 to 60 minutes, when you wake up, that is when your brain is the most malleable, AKA it's the most easily influenced. So if I'm checking my phone and seeing a text or seeing an email or something that is, I know, going to trigger my anxiety or automatic comparison or judgment, I do not want to start my day with any of that. And I instead want to consciously make the decision to start my day with positive affirmations, with gratitude, with meditation, to get my head clear and focused for the day. And then I can do all of the other tasks. I kind of just said 3 of them all in one, but I don't check my phone. I instead journal, and then I meditate. And while I do all this, I have a big glass of lemon water to get my digestive system going, and then I have coffee. So those are my 4 non-negotiables. And please take these and tell me what happens, because it just makes your energy so much more powerful. And now that I've experienced it, I'm like, I never want to go back to a different way of living, because my life and everything that I begin to attract has just improved so much. So I do all of these things every single day to set myself up for success. And that in itself has built such a level of self-trust. I know that I can trust myself to show up for me. So when I show up at an event or in a meeting or with friends or just in any public space in a social setting, I know that I can trust myself to show up in the energy that I want as my highest self, because I practice it every single day. That in itself breeds self-esteem and confidence, because you can trust yourself to show up. You don't have to worry about, am I going to be okay here? Like whatever, you know that you're going to be okay. You have your own back, and that is so powerful. Okay, 3. So this one was inspired by my stepmom. She taught me this, she exposed me to this, so I'm really grateful for that. Your self-esteem lies in the choices that you make. So ask yourself, are your actions in alignment with the things that you believe in, or your morals or your character? Because if not, then you have some work to do. And the reason why we gain self-esteem from the choices that we make is because that is the only thing that we have control over. When you view it from this perspective of my power and my self-esteem lies in the choices that I make, you're putting yourself in the driver's seat. Sometimes if I'm in a situation where I just don't know how to respond, I don't know how to act, I just don't know how to handle it, then I go a little bit deeper and I think, what kind of karma will this create? And I actually have a good story with this. So I remember I was dating this guy and something happened. We got into a fight and I behaved, and I just had toxic behavior. I was being manipulative and I was not proud of it. And I remember telling this to my therapist. I told her, I was like, yeah, like I acted like this and whatever. Like I just didn't even think much of it at that time. And then she asked me and she said, well, if you don't know how to perceive it, then let me ask you this. Are you ready to receive the energy that you're putting out? And that shook me. I thought about the energy that I was putting out and the way that I was behaving. And I asked myself, well, do I want to receive this back? Do I want to receive manipulative, toxic behavior and energy back to myself? And my answer was immediately no. And then I asked her, all right, so I don't want this. How do I clear my energy? And the way you move on from that is to just take care of your side of the street. So after I had this session, I messaged the guy, I texted him, and I said, listen, I'm taking responsibility for how I acted. It is not in alignment with who I am, what I believe in, or who I want to be, and I'm sorry for acting in this way. So the way that you move forward with that, if you do have something that you are not proud of that you did, take accountability for it and apologize and make it right. And then tell yourself, in the future, moving forward, I'm not going to do this again. It's human nature to make mistakes. And as long as you learn from it and you grow from it, it's fine in my book. Which leads me to the next way to build your self-esteem, which is to write a letter of forgiveness to yourself. And this one hits home for me because I have some things that I've done in the past that have really made me feel ashamed or have made me feel not proud of myself when my actions and my behaviors were not in alignment with who I want to be and where I want to go. And I realized that a big block for me was the fact that I kept going back to this shameful thought cycle. We cannot control anything that's happened in the past. We cannot control anything that happens in the future. The only thing that we can control is right now. So for me to waste my energy on being ashamed about things that I've done that I can't even control, it's a waste of energy. You've had that situation. Hopefully you've learned from it, you've grown from it, and now you're ready to release it, because holding on to it is only keeping you stuck and blocking you. It's not gonna help you move forward. And the only person that it's affecting is you. No one else around you. It is just affecting you. So you can affirm, I've grown from this, I've learned from this, and I'm ready to release this. I choose to forgive myself. I'm open to forgiving myself. I choose to have compassion for myself, and I choose to make better choices from this point on. So write this whole letter. You can either flush it down the toilet or burn it, get it out of your system, and trust that that is enough to propel you forward and that you will be supported on your way forward. The next one is to turn it around and be of service to someone else. So I learned this from Gabby Bernstein, but a lot of times when I'm starting to get into my head or feel anxiety or just feel insecure about myself, whatever, I flip it and I see, okay, how can I be of service to someone else? And this can be as little as texting your friend just to say, hey, I hope you have a great day today. I'm so grateful for you, whatever. Or checking in on a family member, or doing charity work, going to a soup kitchen, doing something to give back. And just ask yourself, how can I be in the energy of giving today? Helping someone else takes the energy and the pressure off of you, and it helps you serve in a bigger way that's going to then affect every other person that person interacts with. It's very much the butterfly effect. And the last one is to pick up a new skill or hobby. For me, this one was doing yoga. I used to have so much resistance around starting yoga. I could never focus on it. I never thought that I could do it. I was so against it. And then finally I was like, you know what? I need a good mental challenge. So I committed to doing it once a week. The more I started coming back, I started, one, to create community. So I received this new sense of connection and support, which is so fulfilling. And then second, I started noticing that each week I was either becoming a little bit more flexible, or I could hold a move a little bit longer. And not to mention like doing yoga, or even doing a new workout class each week, or being able to hold a plank for 30 seconds longer. Like little things like that add up. And then you just feel more confident in yourself. You start walking to the gym with more confidence because you know that you're getting better. And it just all intertwines. And then also, you're keeping a promise to yourself by keeping this commitment. You're doing something that's great for your body, great for your mental health. And then you're getting better each week. And you're showing up for yourself each week. So all in all, maybe you should try yoga. I don't know. But try a new skill and try and get better at it, or read a new book for 20 minutes each day. Try and practice a new skill or hobby and see how it goes and see how you feel after. So that concludes my 6 ways to build your self-esteem and really just build confidence in your self-worth. That is all for this week. I will see you next week. Bye.